All right, start with you, Bob, this time, then Ken. What would you say are the three greatest challenges facing Willoughby Hills in the coming 4 years?
The next 4 years, first of all, it's making the residents first. I want to come up with a residents first plan. This will be disseminated to all departments within the city. It basically is an avenue for all the residents to be able to get answers to their questions, their concerns quickly, not 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, or when it's felt like. The other thing is the airport. The airport is a vital issue. Fighting the expansion of that airport is probably one of the most important things that we can do to protect our city. We need to protect our city on different levels. The airport being one, we need to make sure our fire and our police and our service departments are also protecting our residents, whether it's police, fire, or snow removal just for the streets. And then the last option, the last item is our capital improvements. We need to have a financial plan, both revenue and expenses, going 5 years out. We can't live with the 1 year at a time, and that's what's currently happening. There needs to be a master plan as far as spending, as far as the revenue that we have coming in, and what we're planning to do for the future.
Okay, Ken, what would you say are the three greatest issues or challenges for the city in the coming 4 years?
Airport, city finances, and what I call the greatest transfer of wealth, which is about to begin, and I think it's a sham.
Transfer of wealth?
Yes. Let me speak of that. Earlier in this interview, you asked us about the relationship between residents and businesses. The businesses up and down Bishop, up and down Chardon and 91, the intersection there, are pre-existing sewer customers. I just recently got a report from CT Consultants, dated August 28th, about the projected rate increases that will need to be done to cover the debt service. In the next 4 years, 24.5% rate increase in sewers. But the pre-existing sewer customers are going to see that 24% rate increase. Is that fair? And that includes businesses. I don't think so. Talk about finances, just briefly, okay? Andy Unetic, our finance director, has been doing a audit on the monies coming in for the sewer project. And he has discovered we need to make a $278,000 correction. Now the bills have been paid, so I had somebody that wrote a check but didn't post it in the checkbook ledger. So that 24% increase in sewer rates in the next 4 years may get bigger. That's significant. We need to get a handle on it.
One more question, and I'm going to cut you off in order to distribute the time equally because we have a little over 3 minutes.
Okay.
Tricia, go ahead.
Sure. It certainly seems, just in sitting here listening to you both, that there might be a little bit of tension between the mayor's office and council. So I wonder, how important do you think it is that council and the mayor have a good working relationship?
I think it's very important, but you know what? Dialogue is a two-way street. When the president of council spends most of his day on the phone with the council clerk and the finance director and doesn't communicate with the mayor's office, it's a two-way street. I do call the council president cell phone to cell phone. What I don't want to see is legislation, which is a legislative function of council, hurt the residents. I'm against that. And it's that type of legislation I veto. I veto legislation that singles out one retailer but punishes everybody else. But it gets overridden by council. Recently, council passed an ordinance, $5,000 authorizing David Zoe to come up with a ballot question. I asked the council president at the council table, let's engage John Luskin on that and reduce the figure. They didn't want John to take any part of it.
Okay, we're going to have to give the rest of the time to Ken.
One-line question for $5,000. I did not sign that legislation.
Okay. Bob, you have 2 minutes left.
Communication between council and the administration is essential. There is no way that the city can run in a forward-looking motion to have anything happen positively if they don't work together. The communication between council and the present administration broke down about 2 years ago. Many problems existed. Many items have been put in place to curtail some of the things that we saw going on. In 2006, we did a line-by-line budget because we were not happy with the spending. In 2007, we reduced the spending limit from $10,000 to $1,000. So there is not a lot of cooperation. We will send emails, we will send letters, and we will get no answer. Or we will get an answer that is typed 2 weeks later and put in our mailboxes. Yes, the phone is a two-way street, and it needs to be both ways. And if there are certain things that happen, and if we were talking about legislation that was not signed, we had some legislation in December, or in this year, in 2007, that we had to do to move some money that was spent for legal counsel for the mayor. And he took the funds out of the Law Enforcement Trust Fund and that same very sewer fund that he's talking about to pay his legal expense. It was a $5,000 bill. Now, it was done on December 28th, before the $1,000 limit came in, and it was done without the permission of and it was done without the proper authority to do that, based on all our accounting principles and the state auditor. So, I mean, yes,
That's going to have to be the last word. We're at the end of our time. Thank you very much, Bob and Ken, for being with us today.